Hello, everybody. Welcome to what are we? To the podcast.
Wow.
It's been a while. You guys have been out. I have been out. We just haven't been able to do it, but now we're here.
We've been out?
We have not.
What were we not talking about?
Out of commission for a while.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And so have I. So
Okay.
it's all good.
Yeah. I
But-
don't know if anybody missed us, but.
Yeah, the two people that watch, yeah, they missed us.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Is
One-
that
I'm
you
one of
and
them.
Isaac?
During the week I watch it.
Yeah, and one of them is us here.
I love it.
Well, if anybody did, thank you.
We would have been canceled one time, a
Yeah.
long time ago.
That's true.
We're not canceled yet?
No, we haven't.
Okay.
YouTube has not found us yet.
We're not
Haven't made
peeking
it
the
yet.
numbers yet.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah. It's only when you start picking the numbers and that's when they start paying
Okay,
attention.
they haven't found out yet. Okay.
They have not found out anything. Okay, so we have Steph.
Hello.
Welcome. Rosie.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Isaac.
Isaac
Hello.
and Gil.
Gilberto.
Gilberto. Which one do you prefer? Gil or Gilberto?
At church? Gilberto.
Jab.
Jao.
Yeah, but I don't know when they started calling me Gil. I never said that's my name.
Well, it's there.
Yeah, but it's short.
Oh, that's the result of that?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. So what's going on, guys?
Not much. Just surviving. Chilling.
We have
Dodging COVID.
we have a couple of things, but the infrastructure bill passed.
It did, huh?
Yeah, what's interesting about that?
What's interesting? It's a lot of money.
Yeah, it just seems to me. I don't know if I'm wrong. I'm wrong, but it just seems to me like they're throwing money at the things that they want to promote.
Well, I think they cut off a lot of stuff because I think the squad didn't like the bill.
Oh, they didn't, huh?
Yeah, because it took away. I think the whole they were promising daycare for workers and all this stuff. They didn't get those things. So mostly I think most of it covers like roads, bridges, fiber optic connections, all that stuff. You know.
What about the immigration?
It's not in there. I don't think it is.
No?
Oh, I don't know. No, that's he could. You're talking about the payments he wants to make?
Yeah.
That's something else. That's what the State Department has to decide that.
So what's the deal with that?
Well, at first, the report came out. I think it was the Washington Post or something, a couple weeks ago, that they were planning to, or they were talking about giving people that had crossed over $450,000.
$450,000
Yeah.
each?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
450,000 each.
I want to go and come back.
And then Biden came out and he said, no, that's a total lie. We're not going to do that. And then I think earlier this week he had said, I think there is going to be payment, but not as much as that. So he kind of flip flopped. So they're still in the talks, but I don't know what the.
American citizens get out of prison and get $200.
Yeah, and then
These guys break the law, as in come over illegally
And they're getting what,
They're
500,000?
400.
$500,000.
Yeah.
$400,000?
Yes, 400,000. Yeah. That was a rumor, but I don't know what the
So
number is.
that's a
now.
rumor though. We can't. No, that's just.
I don't think it's a rumor because I saw it on the news
Well,
too.
that's what the talk was about.
Yeah.
They threw that number.
That
out.
sounds unreasonable. I don't think so. You know.
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm really concerned though about the president. I mean, beyond what my opinion would be of him and anything else, I mean, it looks very concerning. He looks
Yeah.
like he's out of it.
Well, he did have major brain surgery. I think he had two
When?
a couple years ago.
Oh, I thought like yesterday.
No, yes, it seems like it.
No, I mean, I what I meant recently. That's what I meant.
No, he had major brain surgery. I think.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I think he had.
And
two of
you
them.
guys know why?
I'm not too sure. I'll look it up right now, but yeah, I'm not too sure.
Yeah, man, get the facts, please. Or if you don't, they're gonna cancel us.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people want to do that already.
That's
There's
so
two
funny.
people that know about us.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's two people in there, and they're liberals, and they wanna cancel us. Wow, to me, I think it's concerning. I think, you lose. I think 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 you lose. you lose credibility for the position. I think when the only thing that you're interested in is winning, that your party wins, no matter who is uh, the candidate. I think that's terrible.
He had 2 brain aneurysms in 1988.
Oh wow!
You know, I was thinking about that the other day.
I think they're using him. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it seems like it.
it seems like they're using him. Like,
Yeah.
I wonder how much of. I really do. I mean, this isn't criticizing, but maybe it is. But I wonder how much of him is really engaged in what's going on.
Did you see that video of him sleeping in the? Which I don't blame him. That climate little thing they had in, I think, Stockholm or something like that.
Yeah, he was falling asleep.
Yeah, but I don't blame him for that. I would fall asleep too to hear him talk about all that. But it was funny. He was sleeping and the aide came over. Hey,
I
wake
fall
up.
asleep at every work meeting.
That's true. I can't blame him much for
I
that
do.
one.
What do you think, Gil?
No, they don't. That's the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, somebody waking you up like he.
You're like, that's not what you pay me for. To sleep through this. I don't sleep through when I do my work. So.
No, but yeah, he misspeaks a lot. It's just I don't know.
I heard him like people used to make fun of. People used to make fun of. Bushisms, which are funny.
Yeah, yeah.
But one thing's being funny, and one thing is like really
Yeah.
concerning.
No, he like misspeaks a lot.
Yeah.
Like numbers or wow. Or yeah, I think he said he was president back in I don't know when. Yeah, it's just interesting, and you see it when you see him walking or you see him do things that that just don't seem normal. You know?
Yeah.
So you kind of ask like
I feel bad.
yeah, and the part of me does too. Like, who's really in charge? Like, who's really running the everyday?
But that's the bigger problem and the
Yeah.
bigger consequence.
Well,
Like,
it's
who is really in
it's
charge?
It's the cabinet.
Well, to begin with, here, let's just look at it from
Whether-
this from let's put our own personal like beliefs aside and say like, I wouldn't work for either of those 2 guys, Trump or that guy. Like, that's who's leading. You know what I mean? Just the character they are.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
Period.
yeah.
Like, I wouldn't trust them to lead me anywhere. You know. What if like Trump the way he
because
is?
because
like,
you
the
have
guy's
a moral
the guy's
compass. That's
carnal,
why.
you know?
No, but if you think about it, whoever wants that job to be the president,
He's
like,
already.
I don't want that job.
He's already
Who
red
wants
flagged.
it? I don't think any of us want that job.
I mean, I hear this a lot. Like, oh, it's the most powerful position in the world, or the most important position in the world. But the reality is that you really do have to go around parties. You have to go around
Your own party, and then you have
other people
Interest,
opposing,
yeah.
and then the only way that you can
yeah,
do something is executive
Yeah.
bills. But how many executive bills
yeah,
did Trump have to sign?
or
Like, you really don't have any power, and the only power you have is the military, right?
yeah.
But then even that, if you want to declare war, you have to go
Yeah.
through what's the House?
Congress. Yeah,
You guys know your stuff. Your American history.
I don't.
Yeah, you have to go through Congress.
Congress.
And
Congress.
not only that, the amount of money it takes to campaign nowadays. Like, you have to raise ridiculous amount of money, and the only way to do that is to go to these companies, and they have
And-
lobbyists,
And promise them.
and they want something in return for that
Yeah,
money. So
yeah.
it's like you tied up to many things. It's just crazy.
Yeah, and then they squander.
Yeah.
They end up being faithful to so many establishments
Yeah.
other than
I'd
the
s-
people
They have
Yeah.
to please.
at our
yeah.
expense.
Yeah.
That is the thing, and that's where the bigger problem is that no one serves really the people anymore,
No.
but their agenda or a company's agenda,
Yeah.
like really. But it seems like they're getting their way because they're taxing the rich or the big companies, right?
I don't know. I don't know.
No,
I don't know.
I
But
read something like that.
I'm not sure if the infrastructure bill did
Fake news.
raise taxes.
I'm saying fake news, I guess.
But yeah. So I don't know. It's just craziness.
Yeah, it is craziness. So keep it real, people. So, anyways, last week, 2 weeks ago, you guys took a trip.
We're gone.
Tell me about that trip.
We went to
home
COVID.
of the best barbecue.
We went to
in the world.
COVID-free Texas.
Yeah, COVID don't exist over there. Yeah, it does.
Well, I didn't see any signs of it.
No, but people, there is.
There's no COVID over there.
Well, it's not in your face like it is here.
Not at church, there ain't.
Not at church, yeah. Not at church, there isn't.
You just don't see billboards or
Yeah.
people wearing masks or
There's people that wear
clinics.
there's people that wear masks, but
Not at church.
You see people
Yeah,
wearing
there's one or-
guns
one
but
or
not
two.
masks.
Yeah, guns and masks. Guns, no masks.
You don't see no guns. That's all.
No?
They're probably concealed.
They're probably concealed, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they're there.
It was refreshing in a way that, like I said, I think COVID wasn't in your face like it is here. Like you have a reminder of COVID everywhere you go. It was just nice to kind
Not in
of.
Orange County.
Yeah, LA County.
But I go to church in LA.
But yeah, but it was just kind of nice just to forget about
The
that.
last time I went, it was kind of refreshing because, like right here, when I went, when was it? Beginning of the month? Not beginning of the year? Yeah. Like, everybody's wearing masks here, but then you go over there and then like, you see people, actually see people's faces.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and you could wear masks if you want. You don't have to. But
Yeah.
If you want, you're free to do that too.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it was a different pace.
Oh, okay.
Something nice.
Where did you guys go eat?
Barbecue the whole time.
I overdid it. That's it.
Did you?
Not a bad experience.
You know what?
No more barbecue for you?
Well,
I'm
someone
ready
took us
for
to
What?
someone took us to
Well, he's the only one that got sick, not everybody else.
Because I ate the rare steak.
Well, the problem is when you
That's
you
true.
leave the meat in the car, it's hot, and then you put it in the fridge, and then you eat it the next day.
I didn't leave it in the fridge. I just
Left it out.
Oh, so that's worse. That's even worse than.
it stayed warm.
I
so
think it's
just
called like
left it.
bacteria that grows, you know.
No, but he thought like natural microwave.
Yeah.
Just keep it
It
warm.
stayed hot. It was
Yeah.
alright.
So yeah, don't blame me. Blame him for leaving it not in the fridge. So
Oh, okay. So where'd you guys go? You guys went to.
Dallas.
we're in Dallas.
I know, but where'd you guys go?
What do you mean?
To the city.
To the
Dallas.
city.
You guys specifically went to the
the
church.
We went
country
to-
of Texas.
I don't remember the name.
Upper room. We
Right?
visited,
Upper room.
We visited upper room.
We
No,
really-
correction,
oh, yeah,
did
we
not
didn't
go
go,
to
yeah.
upper room. We went
We
to
visited.
Dallas.
That's not the way you
And
guys
we went to
painted it. You
church.
guys, you
No,
guys were very
well-
specific in telling me
Well, we went to church.
we're gonna
every
go to
day.
Texas to this church.
Well, yeah, we're gonna be there on
So
Sunday.
you guys made it seem like we're exclusively going for that.
Well, we went every day, right?
Yeah, well, most every day. Yeah,
Yeah.
every day.
So that's you went
It's
for that.
not one day, which
No.
makes up for the other day that we went.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh wait, you
Seven.
guys said you were not gonna reveal the name of
Well,
it.
you made it. You made it.
You disclosed.
You disclosed.
That's a cool place.
It is. It's a cool place.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't know.
I strongly recommend you guys.
Yeah.
Well, you probably won't.
No,
But anyways,
I don't recommend.
it's not CCFC though.
my niece works there.
Teacher's pet.
It's not
Shut-
teacher's pet. I love my church. I don't know about you.
She's like, I don't like my
I
church.
know. That's another podcast.
See,
No,
this is why we need to follow.
I'll
the
tell you what. I'll
outline.
tell you what. I'll share what I. Well, I just try not to be blasphemous, but okay. It's fine.
Don't be.
No, I remember hearing people like, "Oh, it's so like this experience is gonna like change your life." Like, oh, like the way we get encountered here, this and that. And I was like, "Whoa, I'm about to experience supernatural." I mean, something that I've never experienced
Something.
before, and
Something.
yeah, and it kind of made me sad because it just reminded me of my church, and I was like, "Yeah, God's here too. I love it. It's fine." You know.
I think no. I
just
mean,
missed my church.
yeah, it's interesting.
But it was beautiful.
What was
It
your
was
experience?
beautiful.
What was your experience?
It's a nice church. I don't know if I went there with the. I don't know if I went there with like hoping to encounter something.
No, but
Like
hearing
it-
people talk
Like
about
see the
it.
feet of God?
No, like I wasn't. I think it happens. I think we see the movement of God in our church too. It's not just because I was going because I don't see it over here. I'm going over there. But it was just nice. It's a nice church.
So I change of pace.
Yeah, it's different.
It's
Well,
cool
I
to-
think
it's cool to
not
receive and not serve.
yeah, not having a service is probably the biggest thing. Because Sundays we do two services. He comes.
Yeah, yeah,
So it was nice to
yeah.
just show up and.
But I told you guys to take a vacation like
Yeah,
a
but-
while ago.
But if I'm here, I might as well do it.
Yeah, yeah.
The only thing I didn't like it was the line I had to make to go in before church, but it's alright.
Okay.
It's alright.
Did you get tickets? Fast
No.
pass or
No, you have to make it. It gets packed, and they don't have a big sanctuary, but it's pretty nice.
It's pretty cool. What about you, Steph?
That was nice.
You need to get closer to the microphone.
It was nice. It's cool. It's different.
How
How?
detailed?
It's just different, I guess. It's not the same.
Well, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know
There's
how
a lot
to-
of different. I think, but yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, go for it.
I'll tell you where it is. Like, I think, and I mean, maybe I'm mistaken, but
I think I kind of know what it is, but go ahead.
okay. I think it's a beautiful thing, and it made me sad in this sense. Like, there's a big community of people that church isn't just Monday, just Wednesdays and like Sundays. Like, we are custom here. We gather Wednesdays and Sundays. Like, these people want to be gathered, like worshiping and prayer every single day, and that's exactly what they do. And you would think, right? Like, we don't like, and then it's just like, how would that look here? But like, no, we open those doors on Monday and Tuesday. We'd probably be the only ones there, and that's heartbreaking just to believe that, because I mean, but then again, how long does it take before it gains momentum,
Well,
and it's a big number of people to say like, oh, it's just a new thing so people show up. No, like, I was worshiping on a Monday at 10 a.m. for 3 hours.
But my
with
question,
300 people.
but my question would be, like, you went every day that you were there.
Yeah.
And just out of curiosity, did you see the same people going every day?
No.
So,
Oh,
so,
I think
so
with the
yeah,
exception of the
and
staff.
like people around
Yeah,
me.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, I did.
no,
But
not the people that
they're
actually
serving.
serve.
No, those were different usually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But did you see a core congregation that comes in every single day in service?
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think it has a lot to do with that their lives seem to revolve around what they're doing there.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it feels like, like
Yeah.
either they work near or like, I have a feeling it's a community. That's what it feels like. Like,
Yeah.
they will go there on their lunch because there's a prayer room going on. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
that
there's something
is
going on.
every opportunity that those doors are open, they'll try
Yeah.
to, and that's a cool little thing.
It's
to
pretty cool.
experience.
I guess to me it's not new because I come from a background where growing up we had service every day of the week and people would show up every day of the week. So to me it's not like, oh wow.
Okay.
Even here in the United States, I think some churches they do that and people actually do show up
Yeah.
to service. Maybe not to that degree
Yeah.
where you have a whole bunch of people. But there are some churches that they still do that. Like you have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and it's when we used to do it. When I grew up in that environment, so when we used to do it, your way of thinking, your attitude, and what you think of the church and whether it's worth what you're doing or not will determine whether that is kept going or not.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's another factor that in some churches that plays a big part in is salaried people. It's a lot simpler to demand something from someone that you're paying something to
Wow.
than to work with volunteers that you have to kind of like always like practically, tell them. So that factor helps a lot. Like if your blueprint is that, then you need to have the resources to keep it going. That helps. But I've seen both. So to me, it's not really new. That's why I asked like how many of the same people you saw like in the service every day, or did you see different people every day going? It's interesting. We're just dissecting the dynamic.
I think also it's.
Let's call him up, and I'm gonna call my niece and see.
Okay. I think it's interesting that, like I said, Monday at that time, it's just as coordinated, but just as like open freely, like, you know what I mean? Just as powerful as Sunday.
Yeah.
Like Monday doesn't lack from Sunday.
Yeah,
and
because
Tuesday doesn't lack.
Yeah, because
from
you have
Sunday.
to, and it goes back to the same thing, because you have a team that not only wants to do it, but you're demanding from them, and the work has to be the same.
I know,
I
definitely.
don't think those guys get paid.
Yeah,
Those musicians.
but there is a
bunch
core group that makes it happen. You know what I mean? Like there's a core of.
But there's a
of
lot
place.
of like teams of people that come and go, and they like take from here and put from there, right? So it's always a different team. But most of those people aren't on like staff. Most of the musicians or worship, even like their
They're
leads
actual
on Sunday are
worship leader.
volunteers.
Okay.
Like they're actual known
They're
persons.
volunteers.
So that's
They're
pretty good.
volunteers.
And
That's pretty
I
good.
think what helps is I think.
I mean, that's really exceptional. Really,
Yeah.
it's rare.
And like mostly young people, so I'm guessing they have a more flexible schedule than somebody
Yeah, they do.
that has like a little bit older, has a career, whatever,
Yeah.
whatever be the case. But it seems like most of them are college age,
Yeah.
so you definitely have a flexible schedule.
And okay.
No, I'm telling her.
Yeah, I
That's
was gonna say that. I don't know if it matters or it's a factor, but the crowd is different, much younger than our congregation, so
Mhm.
maybe that also plays a part. Of
Yes
no,
it.
and
it
no.
really does.
Yeah,
There was
I mean, it
there's a
shouldn't,
mixture.
it
No, I'm
shouldn't.
saying there's a mixture. Just the lady that you met in line that you left because you wanted to be in the service when it
Yeah.
started, and she
Yeah,
came over,
Rosie was
found you, and
making
gave
yeah,
you a
but
drink.
that was
Like,
Yeah.
she was
but-
old.
Yeah, but that was on Sunday. We're talking about people that
Oh, I see.
people that serve
Yeah.
serve on during
Like
the
I'm-
week.
So
Yeah.
let's. I think
Or
what's
even
left to
Bible
do.
service.
What's left to do is it's analyze it,
Mm.
right?
One
So-
more point. Okay.
So analyze it in the.
I was-
no, I mean in this way. Analyze it in this way.
Is this
I,
on?
I have one more observation.
I'll go
So
for it.
Before
what's
no,
going on?
Go go
Yeah,
go.
you gotta talk. You gotta talk right in it.
I have one more too.
Oh, there
okay, you go first. and then I'll-
Annie Leija says, "Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hi,
Anne Marie.
hi, Anne-Marie.
I'm gonna be nice because she gets mad at me. And I'm
Yeah,
so-
don't.
so I
She's
was-
our number one
So say
uh,
hello to her.
Oh, you love
audience. Say hello to her. Nice, be nice.
Hello.
Ah,
Tell
there
her
you go.
she's
There
the
you go.
bestest sister you have.
She's only
She's the best audience we have.
She's your favorite because she's your only.
She's only. I don't have no choice.
Okay, what was your
Go
Got
first,
in
Steph.
trouble.
Steph, make your point.
Well, so you
Oh,
put-
my point.
yes?
Oh, now I know what, like, it was different. It was nice to, like, be in a room where people were prepared to worship. Like, that's all they went for.
That is cool.
Obviously,
That's
you do
beautiful.
have the exception, right? But it was nice, a change.
Who was the
of
exception?
pace.
Oh, we'll talk about that in a bit.
Some people.
No, like, I'm saying you always have the
Yeah,
exception.
yeah,
What's
you
it?
actually.
I think when you have a gathering of that many people, and like you attract, you know what I mean, because you're starting to put music
Yeah.
out or this and that, you attract some characters,
Also
and we got to see
some
some characters,
Mhm.
which I don't think we're from there to begin with. They were just
Yeah.
visiting. Yeah.
Okay, so what was your obsession?
I think I saw some Red Letter Ministry people. Remember you told me about that? And then
Yeah.
I went and
Yeah, yeah,
researched
yeah,
it.
yeah.
It looked like that was what's going on.
Really?
And it looked like they like asked them like, "Are you okay?" And they tried to minister to them, but they were just.
They were high
It looked like they were
in spirit.
on heroin. It looked like that. That's all I'm saying. It looked like that.
But that also served as an opportunity.
And I only
like,
know that because I saw a documentary on what that does.
Yeah,
And like
to
I was
see-
like, "Whoa, that looks like that."
Huh.
um,
Interesting.
to see how they deal with them too, you know?
Yeah.
Because it looks like chaos, and I don't know. I had that impression that their like
So much
services were
grace.
chaos.
Lady Grace.
But when you get there, you actually see all the structure that they have. And,
Yeah.
like, those people that were, wild and out, people were on them like, okay, you can only go to this much, and then if something was out of hand, then they'd step
Yeah.
in.
Like brother Pedro.
It was interesting too that they had security in there, but they were like almost invisible. They were big security people.
So you could tell that they were security because
They
they.
were
Oh,
ready
they're-
for.
they're armed.
Yes,
They're
were-
buff.
Yeah, definitely. They have the little.
But they were armed.
Yeah.
Is that the
Mhm.
reason why you're asking me if you it's
No.
okay with you guys to bring guns to church?
No,
I don't mind.
We can talk about that later.
Water
Okay.
guns. They're talking about water.
Water guns, of course.
Class A, he's like these.
Or
Oh.
Nerf guns.
Oh no, my other thing is I know you said like you were mentioning like the whole staff and like it's easier when people are
Well, I'm
demanded-
just saying it's true.
demanded, you know.
Yeah.
But like we don't work like that at our church, you know what I mean? But I wish that I could live Sunday every day of my life. Like
Yeah.
I kind of try to. I don't like my job, but I stay on it because it really caters to the freedom and schedule that I need to serve. You know what I mean? Like that.
Mm-hmm.
And when I leave, which I probably will soon, it kind of has to cater to that too. Like I will put conditions like, hey, when I say I can't stay, I can't stay, and end the story, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I was asking myself. Like, what does it take for like people to just want to be with similar like I guess, motivated people, similar like with similar like desires to be always like worshiping and like in prayer and amongst community.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That just their heart when they're away, when they're at work, when they're like, they just long to be back with the, you know what I mean? Their fellow believers and I know like, hey, church just isn't in these doors and like we should go out there and be those. But like, when I'm at work, I want to be back at church. You know,
Yeah.
Monday, Tuesday, yeah, we can read the word and we can worship on our own and this but I long to be back where that, you know what I mean? Because there is and I know it is a safe zone in it, but with my, like I remember the scripture when Jesus says like, when they call it like, hey, they're, you know, your mother and your, right? He's like, these are the people around me are, that's my mothers and my, you know, my siblings and
Yeah.
so that you know, I played a lot with that, with just what does it take to like stir the heart of a congregation to where they just want to be with each other and love each other and lift each other and, you know what I mean, come together as often as possible and just minister to each other and always just with the one thing is just we want to be in his presence together, you know, to where like we meet at 7 and what time does it end? Whenever like we have to go home, you know what I you know, but we don't, there is no cap. Because why would I want to leave? You know, if we're hosting his presence and in worship like that, why, you know? And what is it? That's one of the things. Like, it makes me want to throw a lot of structure, but in structure as in like, oh no, that's the time limit. Like no more. It makes me want to throw it out the window. Of just like, a lot of times it's like, oh, move on, and I'm like, why? This is beautifully speaking this truth, and like, why not hold on to it until.
Rest in it.
Yeah, why not just like declare this complete truth and it's even biblical, it's written, and then just like wait on the Lord and if he and it's fine, and if it might be time to go, but then come right back and say like you said you would come if we seek you this way, you know, you will, and just wait and wait, not just like, oh no, we know, and we leave like he didn't come, like we'll see you Sunday, but same time tomorrow, same time, you know what I mean? Like what does it, I don't know, it just stirred that up inside of me.
That's a good question. Rosie?
Well, it was my first time going to a different church, and I had some observations. So they have a lot of things going on, Pastor, and I want to get your opinion about it. So they have like a
On the
painting.
podcast.
Yes, on the podcast.
They have a panini?
Yeah.
No,
That would be nice.
It would be nice if they had a panini.
They had a
Yeah,
coffee
but-
shop.
They had a coffee shop.
Oh, they have a coffee
It was good.
shop.
We used to have
We
one.
have a coffee shop,
Yeah.
but
called
it's a
called
low key
Starbucks.
one.
Oh yeah, hermano.
Hermano Israel
Israel has coffee
yeah,
every
he
day,
serves.
man.
Hermano Izzy only
That
gives
Black
his-
and Decker in the vac kitchen.
No, he makes a
Hey,
good
dude,
one.
that's a good one.
With the raspado, it's
Yeah.
only like it's on the secret menu.
Yeah, so you're not there yet, bro.
And he needs to offer it to
First of all, I invented that with him.
Nah.
you.
So
I've
what
only
was-
had it once.
Oh,
Anyways,
oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Okay.
You said panini. No?
No,
Sorry.
They have a lady painting as the service is going.
Oh, what is she painting?
I don't know what she did.
I
I don't
don't know. I think
I guess
whatever
whatever-
the spirit tells her, and then they have a lot of dancers.
I think that she's just inspired to do it during worship. I don't know if it's what the Spirit tells her to do. Just, I don't want to misquote anything, so I'm thinking it's just she feels inspired to paint when
Yeah,
she's
I'm not
worshiping.
sure what it
I'm
is.
sure they mean something, right? They're abstracts?
No, that's
no.
painting.
They're paintings. They're
No.
like,
But what?
the one that I saw on Sunday, I was like, that's pretty cool. It would look like a sunset or a sunrise.
Ah, so they're not abstracts?
No, it wasn't.
No, it's
it wasn't
actual-
something weird. No.
It's not like
Okay.
it's not like Picasso out there. No. But it's like an actual painting.
Like an actual painting, like
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, it was actually.
Oh,
like,
okay.
an actual image.
Well, I think that's the only thing that was like a little, not weirded out, but I didn't know if that's normal for a lot of people.
That's what
to
we
do
did.
that. And then they have the dancing, the flags. You know, we do the flags too.
Mm-hmm.
What else do they have?
That's it.
We do the big old what do you call it?
Oh.
Shofar. We do that too.
Oh, they had one, yeah.
That's Jorge.
Yeah.
No, but yeah.
I saw somebody with a shofar in the congregation too.
Yeah.
I was like,
Did you guys see anybody with a pandero?
No.
the dancers.
Well, the dancers did have one, yeah.
They have panderos?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
Yes.
were It was
Tambourines.
Yeah.
Mhm.
One though.
Yeah, and the guy that was playing the shofar was a little small one too. Wasn't it?
No. But on Sunday there was one guy with it.
Oh, it didn't.
Yeah.
Okay, so what was your question?
She's weirded out. Is that okay?
No,
She had the hibbities, you
I
had
just-
the
is it
hibbities.
like normal to
She's-
have
Did
all
you
this?
I don't know what's
It,
going on.
it was kind of distracting for me in the beginning, so I really had to kind of tune it out.
So everything was happening at the same time,
Yeah, at the same time, everything.
like an overload of
I think it
sensory
was-
overload.
She was off to the corner, tucked away. I don't understand how
I
that.
guess I was just watching everything in the beginning.
Who was stuck to the corner?
Like that, the painting.
painting
It
lady?
was just like
Like over there?
She was
Yeah.
on the side on the stage.
No, on the side.
Side of the stage, off the stage.
Off the
Yeah,
stage.
off the stage.
What did you guys think about it?
I seen it before.
yeah.
Me too. I've seen it before. Yeah. I haven't seen it lately.
Yeah, but I've seen it.
I mean, it came in like a wave. There was at one point like everybody was doing it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
see,
like
right?
yeah,
No,
no, we never did it. I think no, actually no.
Stick figures.
Oh
Well, we
have
had,
it?
Yes.
we had mimes.
no,
That's
but
awesome.
we did. I can't remember her name. She used to paint, and for the youth service when I was a youth pastor. I mean, that's a long time ago.
How long ago was that?
Like more than 15 years.
Wow.
So I remember that a couple of youth services.
They did have.
Yeah, they asked me, hey, can we do the painting as we worship? I was like, So yeah, and then they did. I can't remember her name. She doesn't come here anymore. She doesn't go to our church anymore. But I think it was once or twice that we did it. So I've seen it, but I haven't seen it lately.
Yeah.
I know like a couple churches do it.
Yeah.
I've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, well they're not the mainstream churches in this per se that like that are like super hip and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
They're more of the ones that tend to go more what is it, like Pentecostals, like evangelical type
Yeah.
of like Holy Spirit, you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't see anything wrong with it. The dancing, which.
Well, if you see it the first time, for example,
Oh,
it's
for
gonna be
sure.
like, what in the world is
but I
going
guess,
on?
but
Because
yeah.
Yeah,
Because-
we yeah.
because of the idea that like in this church, like it's purely one thing. It's not
Yeah.
many expressions of
Yeah.
of worship at the same time. It's just purely one. We focus
Yeah,
on
we-
one.
Yeah.
And then if that happened, like that's cultural. If we did that,
sure.
everybody's gonna be like,
Yeah.
Why are you doing that?
yeah, or why are you painting?
Yeah.
You're actually
Yeah, you know what?
you're
Yeah.
actually interrupting our service because
Yeah.
you're painting and
Yeah,
you know we
yeah,
want to know what
yeah.
you're doing.
I see because
Yeah.
it's not the first time
Yeah.
I witnessed it.
Yeah.
To me, it's just like okay, like I'm not even. It's just I just saw once and
Yeah.
Yeah,
but you're more like
They were doing
Why?
a good job.
Yeah, like, what's going on?
yeah, it makes
That's
sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
and then with the dancing, we've had dancing here
Yeah.
too,
Yeah,
before
dancing.
too. I believe in dancing.
Yeah, they were doing a really great job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You tell they put in a lot of time.
Well, to answer the question is like in Psalms you have many different expressions of worship, like
Mhm.
many,
Yeah.
including obviously songs, including dancing, including playing instruments. So it's not rare. I think it has to do with the life of the church and the culture of the
Yeah.
church, and I think mostly what's more beneficial if this is something that's going to really, really inspire and benefit people, or is going to distract them into something else. I think you have to make that choice and try it out. But I know that the churches that do that is they're just trying to include all the arts into worship.
Just playing devil's advocate, but if you're easily distracted, then you're not really there for what you're supposed to do.
No, I think
first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, first time I get it, but like
no, but I think I mean it's a valid point, but it's not the case with everybody. If you tell me because I know arts and I've studied, if I go,
you'll be like, oh,
like yeah, I want to see. Hey, let me see.
yeah.
What is she doing? You know,
Yeah.
I wouldn't feel like I'm worshiping,
Yeah.
and that's another thing. Here's the thing though. Worship is a corporate thing.
Mhm.
Unless you do like an individual worship, which you can do in your room, obviously.
Mhm.
But if it's corporate, I would question how that is a corporate worship
Well, do you think maybe because
because she's the only one that's participating,
Yeah.
And I can be inspired, but really she's doing the art. Nobody else is doing it. It's just her. And I can stretch it and say, well, I'm inspiring people and they're engaging. Well, that's true, but it's not really like a corporate thing that we're all doing. When you're singing, that's why it's so easy. It's because everybody's doing it. When you're dancing, not everybody's doing it, but you have the possibility of everybody engaging. When you're painting, you're the only one who's doing it.
Yeah.
So I'm not questioning. Like I said, I've seen it.
Well, you know
Yeah.
the way I saw like the whole dance / flags.
Yeah, the flags.
Um,
My only fear with the flags is that if they're not careful, like
they're really
they're
yeah, no, like an airplane's gonna land because they're gonna get confused.
Why do you say these things?
it's like that jokes.
I know.
I am a father. Just
Aircraft
mess.
bringer.
Yeah, just messing with you guys. Come on, Steph.
I think it's cool.
Shit like that.
I mean, I've seen it at church, at our church especially.
Yeah.
But we, for one reason or another, never incorporated. Well, we did, but not enough. I think maybe if anything, if that were to start coming back, it should be meshed with worship at the same time. It should be dance to the worship. You know what I mean? Like to the worship team.
Well, that's what they procure, but it requires a lot of work.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, not really. Just come to practice. Like.
No. It's more than that.
Oh no, them
choreograph it.
individually. Yeah, and then
You
together.
gotta choreograph the dance.
Yeah, you gotta choreograph
You
with
gotta
them.
just go and do whatever you want.
So in essence, it just requires one person, whoever leads this, to say, I'm going to be committed to learn my own dances.
Not only that,
now I'm going to
our
bring
moves.
it to the team.
Yes.
I'm going to practice with the team. I'm going to be. That's all it needs.
No,
it's
but
just
No.
No,
What it
and
looked like, they
investing.
weren't
Yeah.
choreographed
No, they
per
weren't.
song. No.
No,
What they did
no.
is they have a particular
moves.
a way they
Yes.
do like
Yes.
what the expressions. That's what I think they are.
Yes.
They have certain expressions
Yes.
and they master them offset.
Mhm.
You know, and when they come, like it doesn't. It's not like we don't come to practice. We come to rehearse.
Yeah.
And they put them together and say, "This is what we're gonna do."
Um,
And remember this. Do you know what I mean? When the worship team starts to declare this, you know, I mean, they actually get into the song and they say like,
Yeah,
we
they-
have this expression for this, what they're proclaiming,
yeah.
you know, and that's what it seemed like. Cause I was
It seemed like in what?
for a long time, like I was
Here?
just like, why are we dancing? No. When I got to see because we respond.
What are you talking about?
Like worship
Here or over there?
over there. But I'm comparing to because we do dance as well, you know,
Yeah, it's the same
and
concept.
flag exactly. But
It's the same concept
since it was
here.
done like at the same time.
I think the difference is if I may speak
Yes.
from experience, I think the concept's still the same because you put it together,
Of course.
right? You know different moves and you put them together according to the list.
Yeah. Yes.
That's what you do,
Yeah.
and that's what they used to do here.
That's what.
Believe it, yeah,
Yeah.
that's what they did. That's it. That's the way it works.
Yeah,
Because otherwise, you would have to choreograph every single song in a different way. So they
Yeah,
have
no.
different moves that mean different things.
exactly.
And then as you're listening to the songs, and then they put them together. The
Yeah.
difficulty with that, what I find is this: that even though that's true, you as a worship team are there to practice. You're not gonna wait for them. The song's gonna stop. You're gonna have to do it again. Repeat the lines or maybe the phrasing. So you could see how that could become a problem for
That's
the
a
people who are
factor.
dancing.
Yeah.
So practically speaking, it's not feasible. So what really has to happen is getting together and practicing for that dynamic.
Yeah.
Not killing two birds with one stone because it's not going to work. Because they're going to have to figure out what they're doing as you're figuring out what you're doing.
Yeah.
And that makes it a lot harder. But if you, like, for example, if the worship comes and says, we already know the songs, we know everything, we're not here to practice our songs. We're here to
Cater to
coordinate with you guys
That's cool.
what we're going to do. So that requires what?
Time.
And an extra practice.
Yeah.
People willing. Yeah.
People willing to go. So what we had most of the times was that dynamic. So they had to come and then kind of compensate for this and that. And then you have the usual, like in the music, and it's the same in every ministry. Like you might have one or two that didn't come and they didn't prepare and they gave them the homework. Because I know they're very dedicated. But the dynamic's still the same.
Yeah.
What changes is the fact that it's not us leading worship and then adding the song, adding the dance to follow us. Is working together, and I think that's what makes it different. Because you're on the same page. But it doesn't help, like Stephanie says, it doesn't help when you don't do your part. And what move were we supposed to do?
Well, yeah, it goes back to that, right? You can't have like a worship practice 7 p.m. and show up same day 6 p.m. the dancers, and then expect to learn all your moves 6 p.m. 1 hour.
No, you need to have your moves established.
You need to have a separate practice, have your practice time on your own, and then practice with your team. Then bring it with the worship. So when you come, say Thursdays, we're using the same days that week.
8:30, opposed to
when
us
you
from 7 to 8:30.
We can go through a whole song together, and it doesn't matter if we stop or start.
No,
or
it
stop.
really does.
You pick up exactly where we left off because you know your moves.
Yeah,
it's the
true.
Same thing like musicians. If we stop in the chorus, right?
There's people working in harmony. Once again,
you stop.
Yeah.
We can pick up from the chorus again and finish the song.
Yeah, I think it's a.
And that's
I
the
think,
same thing.
but I do think it's a different dynamic. Between actually dancing and playing.
Do you think?
And I think it does. I think they're both right. But I think, again, what we did was we're coming to practice and you're coming to practice with us because we need to do our set. We never had we're gonna practice
just for
together to coordinate and to choreograph and give you the chance and both. So I think that's where it is.
Yeah.
But I do know for a fact that when you do, and I don't have any of the dancing ladies here and
I do
to ask, but I was very involved and I knew how they worked and stuff like that. And I've always advocated for that to happen.
Yeah.
But I also understand that if we don't have that practice,
it's not
gonna work.
It's chaos.
It's not gonna work.
I do think that like what you're honing in on, I think it comes down to even like honor, in the sense like, hey, like your ministry is just as important, and I think that we need to come together in that sense, to where like, hey, we almost got this down. Like, can you guys do just that little part? Absolutely, like no problem. Not just like it's hard enough we're learning these songs, or like we're trying to get through this. Like we have, we've been here since 7. Like that's already an issue, and I think it needs to become like unison, like one, in the sense of like, hey, like. No, we
that's
together.
Yeah, I understand, but that never happened here in the church. It never happened, and it never happened in that sense. I think everybody prepared for themselves, and we came together to do what I think I need to do, and then we're gonna tag along with this.
Yeah.
And then you have the pros, right? You have a Gavi, you have a Liz, you have they can come up with anything at any moment, but then they had to deal with. Maybe the little girls that they were learning and they were not fully versed, and maybe one or other people that they're still learning. So that brings another layer of dynamic. I think you're both right. I think the bottom line is it needs to come together specifically for that. Yeah. And again, I agree. Don't come to practice if you haven't practiced your move. But then for that, you need to have the list before that's going to happen that Sunday.
That's not that hard to cater to.
No, that's true. No, I'm just saying. Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm not saying that they're complaining. What I'm thinking is that if I'm going to come ready with the practices, then they need to already have a sense of that list and make it a habit between one and the other for them to be ready with the list as far as movements and stuff, and then have a practice specifically for that. Yeah. And honestly, I'll be honest, that takes a toll.
Yeah. That sounds fun though.
No, it sounds fun, but really, you guys do your practices on Thursday, right?
Yeah.
That's when you do it.
I think it takes a toll on everybody.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
You're only gonna do one. We're speaking hypotheticals, right? But it's only one service or one day, Sunday, as opposed to, as Gil says, like Wednesdays. Imagine if it was dance every single event we had.
It'd be awesome.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It takes a toll on everybody. But
it does.
At the end of it, I think it requires commitment. Just like we're committed to everything, it requires a lot of commitment I can't show up
no,
early and leave.
no.
Here's the thing, to add to Pastor how he was saying, no, but then there was a bunch of like, there's children involved and here and that. I think that in order for it to be established, it needs to start with like 2 core individuals that are going to put in the time, because standards need to be implemented to where this is what has to happen in order for it to be meshed properly.
Again, to advocate for what I've seen in both,
because otherwise we're merging 2 ministries together.
I'm not saying no to what you're saying. I'm saying that it.
Hold on, Pastor, you were in the dance ministry?
Yeah, I've been involved.
No.
You were in the dance ministry?
No, I'm involved. I'm in the meetings. I've been in the
but
trainings.
you weren't in.
I know. I have a notion of how it works and what they do.
I was wondering if you were in like.
I when they had the class, I took one of them. Yeah, some pandero class.
Like I missed that.
Yeah, it looks easy. It's not easy.
I bet.
It's really hard. Yeah, but I'm not saying no to you. I'm saying not only what you're saying, but in addition to that, what you're talking about is that, but at the same time, you need to have vision for it. Because if you don't have vision, then most likely you have no commitment, right? So we had a vision of 2 ministry, dance and worship. And I'm telling you from my experience that for a long time, maybe even before, Steph, before now, we always had that issue. The issue where, no, we're leading worship and you guys just tag along and figure it out. As opposed to we're working together and we have a general vision and we're part of the worship. And I think
I think lately, Pastor.
No, but that's what I'm saying before.
That was, yeah.
Before. I'm not saying now.
That should be before and left before.
But what I'm saying is that we have that. Whatever you're talking about, I love this subject, but whatever you're talking about that's what we have here. Yeah. We have 2 or 3 individuals who are hardcore, like I know for a fact, and I'm gonna name them. You know, Liz, I know she's very dedicated to that. Gabby, they're very dedicated to that, and they know their stuff. I mean, they've trained, and they have the job to train everybody else that are coming in, and they even have to adjust themselves to that. And not only that, but they have also been persons that they demand from the people who are involved. Okay. You know, they have a schedule. It's not easy to do. Yeah. So they know this, and they know that they can't slack or they can't just whatever comes out. I know for a fact that when they have done it, like they meet and they practice and they practice and they practice. So I think on both ends.
For what practice, Pastor?
I
think that's like for specials.
Those are for specials.
That we can agree that they do practice, but not for like
because
corporate worship.
I know, but think about it. Why? Because the reason
work together.
No. I'm talking about the dynamic. The reason is because if you do special, whatever special it is,
I have a question on that.
You play.
Yeah, but that becomes entertainment at that point.
No, it doesn't.
No.
How is that
not necessarily
per se because
not necessarily
because here's the thing. People aren't.
But I think you're assuming.
I'm telling you from personal experience.
But that's why your experience, but
and a lot of people I've asked.
But but it's one. Hold on. There's 2 things happening here. There's what their perception of what they think it is, and I immediately assign and what they're actually doing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a hard thing to say.
But it is important that what people perceive. I mean, we like it or not.
I agree, but you have to understand that that's not the platform, that's not the way, or that's the reason why. Sure. I know for a fact that that's not why.
Of course.
Yeah. So what I'm saying, the point is is practical.
Yeah.
It's practical. If I see a difficulties or how much it takes to do this, right?
Yeah.
And I know you guys practice on Thursday. I'm talking about from this perspective. And I know you guys have your practice to do. You got to get those songs right, right? So the last thing I know maybe some of these ladies want to do is come and say, hey, can we practice for the song? So the easiest thing to do is get one of those things, play it, rewind it, play it, rewind it. So for practical purposes.
Yeah. It breaks my heart, though, that we've
never
been
reason,
able to work like
that's
that.
the reason.
I don't know, this is our worship director, so.
Exactly. So what I'm saying is that, this is a very interesting talk because and this is what I was going to, that you go to a church like this and you see all these things, you're like, oh wow, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
So you come back here And you have to ask yourself this question: what does it take, and am I willing to do it?
Yeah, amen. That's exactly, I think, what everyone came back with.
Right?
And he Pastor, can I ask further,
So
why?
what does it take, and am I willing to do that? And I think that's where it's at.
Yeah,
Like, it sounds fantastic to have services every single day.
Yeah.
Would you be here? Not you specifically, but
Probably.
would the people be here every day? How long is it gonna be before?
Gains momentum.
Yeah, and or
It dies out.
it dies out.
Yeah.
One of the two. So I think that dynamic, and I go back to what Stephanie says. You have to have commitment, but you also have to have vision. Because if you don't have vision and we don't share that vision, and everybody's just doing their own thing, like, we're never gonna get anywhere. And as a pastor, sometimes you do feel like that, like, oh, they're doing this because I'm telling them, but they're not really, right? And that's a hard place to be. So I think that's the question we need to answer. Like, what vision? Like, you're in the worship team. Like, what vision is it that God's calling you to do, and are you willing to invest beyond the Sunday and the Thursday?
100.
And what is it that you see God doing, and what's my part in it?
Oh, yeah.
So when you go to these places, you're like, that's the question, because the same thing happens here when people go, oh, the worship is fantastic, and you guys are doing this and that.
They ask a lot of questions. Huh?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They do, and they see, and okay, yeah. But then
they don't see all the work that.
But they don't see all the work that does. And the other part that I was going to tell you guys, that they probably do. I go back to the whole staff, and because I think it's essential. But the wonderful thing is that, I mean, let's be honest, you guys are not staffed, yet you do the amount of work and effort and commitment that no, this is not this isn't where you comment. I'm telling you that you do the, but you
for money.
no, because you don't do it for money.
Yeah,
no one does it for money.
But
what I'm saying is that what a privilege it is to work with people
Yeah, for sure.
who are giving their hearts, and through a pandemic they were there, doing it. And if anybody's listening, if you don't appreciate that, I don't know what to tell you. If you're not motivated, no, please,
okay,
you need to stop.
We'll talk off air about this.
You need to stop.
I have to.
If you're not motivated by the people who are serving with all their heart, if it doesn't motivate you, say, you know what? I'm not gonna let somebody else just give 100%. I'm the same. I'm not gonna stay behind, because that's what Hebrews says. Outdo each other in love.
Whoa, that's cool.
That's what Hebrews says. So I fear for any church where you have a core people giving their everything, which is usually the and people not be inspired to say, why is it that I'm not doing the same? Why am I looking for another place to serve or do something else? Why am I not inspired by these people who are doing it? And I think we shouldn't be afraid to be inspired by people.
Yeah.
Or we shouldn't be afraid to, tell them, hey, good job, because of a false humbleness, whatever that means, because honor to whom honor is due, right? Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So you look at this and you think, what does it take?
Oh, for sure.
How much prayer do I need to do I need to invest in order to see something happen, during the worship and beyond the worship,
And
so it's easy to come and say either, oh, great, or, oh, this guy suck. No, hold on a second. You haven't seen all the work, all the effort, right?
Yeah.
But then that's the question that remains, right? Like, what are you willing to do?
Yeah, and I think, like, me going over there, I didn't see it like that. Like, oh, that'll be cool to do, or like, I just thought.
Confess it. You want to stay over.
No, it's too hot out there. No, it was just like this is something different, like I said.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, Pastor. Like, I feel like
Diabetes.
I feel like each church has their calling, right?
Yeah.
And that's what their calling is. Their calling is to have their prayer room open every
and I
day.
think you honor and you celebrate it.
Oh, for sure. And that's amazing to see.
But shame on us if we're not living up to our call.
that is correct.
We want to
too.
see what our call fully is.
That's
what
correct
basically
too.
it.
So I didn't come back from over there saying, "Oh, I wish we could do that." I was like, "Oh,
We're for a worship house.
I just appreciated something different and just saw the movement of God there, and I was happy to be there, you know. But I was still appreciative of my church too, you know, like what we're doing here. So I just saw it like that, like they have their calling to do that for them, and it works for them, and it's working for them.
Yeah, and it's a gifting, it's a grace that God has upon them.
And you see it, and you see it when you walk in there, and the way they.
And you should not take anything away from that.
Oh no!
But at the same time, I don't think you can go and replicate that.
You shouldn't want to.
You shouldn't want to.
You want your own.
It's
what
not
the
a
Lord
cop-
wants
yeah.
for your particular.
But not only
place.
that, but also I think you need to appreciate it, because if it's not that and it's in your face, and you're still thinking it should be something else.
Yeah, I think you get you get confronted by the levels of effort, and that is like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
We're not even at this large of a scale, but at our own size, like our hearts can still be like seek Him in whatever way that may look like that He has. You know what I mean? Poured down His grace in.
Yeah, and within the culture of our own environment in church, and I think also I forgot what I said.
And it's not like I went in there and saw something I've never seen before. No. I've seen that before.
I think it's just amazing to see it.
It is.
And I use as an example.
Like every time you're in that environment, it's always nice to be there. You know, and it doesn't matter where you're at.
Yeah. Just
to be there in the presence of God is always beautiful. And I think, like I said, it's nothing that I've never seen before or felt before in our church. But it was just different.
But let me ask you, what changed though?
What changed where?
What changed? I mean, what the one thing that changed?
I think it's conviction more than anything.
Is your disposition, and then you started realizing that it's not. And I believe this is not the song, it's not the environment, it's your disposition, it's how you come, it's how you honor the people who are serving, and how you honor the place where you worship, and how you honor God Himself at the end. You know, because how many times, like today, you mentioned. Should I mention this?
Probably not.
Okay, but like sometimes, you know, sometimes you feel like you have to, I don't know, convince the people that they need to sing the song, or you need to.
Now I'm curious. What did I mention?
Like sing the song, you know, like it has happened to me too, and it's perception also, but. Sometimes it does seem like you're singing the song and it just means a lot, and you feel God's presence and you're aware, and people seem distant, people seem disconnected, people seem like they're not, it's not their cup of tea.
I gave up on that a long time ago though.
No, it's true, but still affects.
Like, this is going to be either really awkward for you or you're going to take part. Like, you decide.
Yeah, but still, you
I'm
know.
going.
But you know, you have to observe those things. I mean, you have to put a thermometer on it.
I think as human beings, we let that affect that. Right? So I think we're just natural to that, and I think that's when you just put it in God's hands and say, you know, whatever you need to do, you will do it, no matter how I should be feeling.
I don't know how to sing, but it's for God's glory.
Yeah, like it's like trying to put. I know it's hard to putting things aside when you're. I never been up on the stage, but I could imagine if you're up there and then you see nobody.
You're preaching next Sunday.
No.
Hey, no, I use dance and flags as an example because our church believes in that and we use it. I'm not over here, Pastor, let's start painting. You know what I mean? Like, this is something like within what we do. And this is what it is for me. I got to experience it. Like, cause Pastor, if anything, I was the one that was like, hey, the panderos, the tambourines are not on point, on beat. So like this is just really distracting. We're not professionals.
But let me ask you this.
Like, this stuff is distracting more, you know what I mean? But I got to see it, and this is the thing. I'm accustomed to responding because we hear what's going on, yes, and then I got to visualize, and I got to respond to what I was seeing, and it matched with what I was listening to, and that's what it was like. Everybody we should just.
But that's and that's a biblical principle too.
Yeah,
that's in the Bible because Bible says. Worship the Lord, play instruments skillfully.
Yes.
So skillfully means you have a certain grace to whatever you do.
Yeah.
You really do.
Yeah.
I mean, as much skill as you can have within the and then you keep on improving. As musicians, you're constantly improving.
Yeah. Side note, by the way,
Yeah.
George is getting good at the shofar. He's on key.
Let's see
and,
what
it's
Alma says.
beautiful.
Let's see what who says. What? Let's see what.
He is.
Shout out to you, George.
Yeah. So far.
Shofar man.
Yeah.
Play it louder.
Shofar brother. Yeah, I forgot I was gonna say. I was gonna say something.
I don't know.
To see what Alma said.
Something about Alma. I don't know.
No, she says that it's a flow. Let me put on my
Oh.
glasses.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah, she just agrees with being able to work as a team and flowing together. That's all.
Amen.
That's what she says. I put it up, but
I like the flow.
I'm just reading up. So yeah, I hope it was a good experience for you guys.
That was.
And
And the barbecue didn't hurt either.
I like different expressions of worship as long as they're graceful and skillful and
Not
they're
distracting.
and they're not distracting too.
Yeah.
That was my question, like to what point do we allow to be distracting, and the dancing and the painting calling attention to itself, not giving glory to
Yeah.
God. So you have to think about those things when you're coordinating and doing and planning, and I'm sure that after much practice, like you do.
Yeah. It's pretty cool though, like the level of intensity for the danza and like the flags, and the level of just like, I mean, precision.
Yeah.
You know, it was like really like they were bold, like what they were doing. You know, it was interesting.
It was really, really, really good.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
That's it.
Yeah, and then you remember what the Bible says in John 4. It says, not in this mountain, not in the other, but in spirit and truth. And I
Yes.
think that's what people need to understand.
Yeah, it was a good time. It was a nice time.
Cool. Anything else? Anything else about? Are we gonna have dance and painting next time?
Are we?
Not painting.
No.
You don't want to paint?
What about drama? What about mimes?
It gives
Mimes.
Rosie the hibbity-jibbities.
Oh yeah, you like the painting?
What about worship mime?
Oh, that'd be cool.
No, like worship
I'm
mime.
down.
I've never seen that.
I won't be able to pay attention.
No?
I've been watching that the whole time. I'm
Really?
already like a goldfish.
You know what I'm saying, right? Like worship mime.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
What if we get one of those? You know how when the governor talks and whatnot. There's
Translator?
Translator.
Translator.
Oh,
I'm just
sign
thinking
language.
that worship mime. I'm sorry to go back to this. This is a concept.
You really like worship.
I really like worship mime. I think it'd be simple. Like you have people like mimes, but with invisible instruments.
Air guitar.
Are you
Yeah, air
I
guitar,
already
air
played that.
trumpet, or drums.
Are you being serious right now, Pastor?
That's interesting.
Are you
I
being
never
serious?
thought of this concept.
You're not being serious, are you?
Imagine having a worship.
That's offensive to real musicians.
Imagine having a worship mime
Just put tape.
worship team.
Wow.
Count me in.
Oh well, Rose. She's not down with the arts, but she's down with the mimes.
I can play guitar.
Wow.
Like that.
I'm actually better at air guitar than I am at regular guitar. I'll tell you that.
I'm pretty
So
sure.
I heard Rosie likes Steph's playing.
Oh wow.
Rosie.
I do like her guitar skills.
But not Gil's guitar skills.
I
That's
admire
what we- that's
both.
what
I
we
was just
do.
having a conversation with Steph and
You began
Gil
with Steph.
overheard.
I'm like,
Well, we didn't even hear. You're like a foot away.
All I saw was Gil crying in a corner.
Nobody
likes my guitar playing.
I'm like the only thing that I'm like.
Am I good at?
No, just that I'm like
But-
not insecure about.
But you used to play more piano than guitar, right?
She plays piano. She's.
I should be playing
And she
piano.
plays the bass.
Yeah.
And she plays.
No,
the bass.
but I mean before. It was more piano than you didn't play guitar
Well, her
before,
main
did you?
instrument is
No,
piano.
yeah, my main is piano.
But did you know guitar before?
No.
This is the segment where we dig into Steph's lives.
Yes, Steph.
Do we have any more questions for her?
How long have
I
you
have
been playing
tons.
the piano?
I have tons.
I don't know, a long
Go-
time.
Hold on.
One time?
Yeah,
Another question, Pastor?
Yeah, how come you don't play it that much anymore?
because we don't have people.
No, but you're getting people now.
No, like she has to cover other instruments.
Oh, okay.
That's why.
Oh.
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They won't let me play bass. I've tried.
You tried? Is the
They,
five
they
fingers?
know I'll do. Yeah.
I would.
I'll wild out even. more.
I was learning with Becker how to do it.
Yeah. And
Yeah, it's it actually is kind of
Fun.
easier than guitar.
Well, of course, it's
Yeah.
strings. But then I hear Eric play, and I'm like, yeah, I can't do that.
Yeah, that's intimidating.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That guy's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Because
good.
look, I can go dun dun
Yeah. I'll play on the same chord that I would normally play, but
dun dun,
That guy's doing
but I can't go
scales.
like dun dun dun
Jam-
dun dun dun
Yeah.
dun. Like, where's that note? I don't know.
Yeah, but I think corridos are probably easier on that one. Just same one.
not
I
the
know-
Eric
I
plays
know-
it.
Not when Eric plays.
No.
I know Becker enjoyed the songs that we did.
Yeah.
The ones that he enjoyed the most
Yeah.
was that Coritos.
He's
Yeah,
good, though.
because all the other songs are just dun dun dun, and the coritos at least you do like a.
Yeah, and I asked Lucas the same thing. I said, hey, which one? What songs do you guys like? Oh, the Coritos. Why? Because it's just E B E B E B E B.
Steph doesn't like those though.
What?
Steph,
Why
how
are you making
come?
up like lies?
I'm not
Didn't you
lying.
go to church this morning?
I did. Did you go to church this morning?
I did.
Did you take communion?
Yeah, twice. No, actually once.
No, you're supposed to do it once.
Oh, you can do twice?
No,
What happens if you do it twice?
no doubles.
Oh wow! I thought it was like
Double portions.
Yeah,
Double portions?
Yeah. No, it doesn't work that way.
More forgiveness because
No,
it's
no.
like twice,
Oh,
the,
okay.
twice the blood.
As long as you don't like do that and then sit in between and then
Do
second
it.
service, yeah, don't do that.
Wow.
Don't do that.
Do over?
No, that wasn't it, Pastor.
Oh,
Those who
okay.
understand golf. It's a mulligan, so I had to do it again.
I don't know what golf is. Didn't you used to play golf?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh.
It's just the Q&A part of the show.
Yeah, this is a Q&A part of the show.
That sounds like the veggie tales, isn't it?
I've never watched the
know what
Veggie Tales.
So then you
That
started
show
playing.
where we
That's how I feel.
Yeah, they do that. The part of the show where Larry sings silly songs.
silly
And yeah, and then he
songs.
starts singing
Let's
about.
move on from this.
Yeah.
Silly song. No, it's cool.
It's not. It's not.
We
he
lost
ta-
all of
he
you,
has
yeah.
no belly button, and then he sings
Are people
about
still
it.
watching?
No,
Yeah,
no,
yeah, people are watching.
No, they're gone.
No,
They don't want to watch
Okay,
the
so
Veggie
what are we
Tales.
talking about then?
they're right here. We're interviewing you.
We're
Oh.
interviewing you.
Only
what-
we can interview you next.
What's going on in your life?
Or interview Isaac next.
Oh.
There's not much going on. I went
You
back
can't
today.
know.
That's all.
How's your foot?
It's alright. It hurts, but
We're playing soccer,
no, I don't play soccer.
karate.
No, I'm just delivering packages.
Yeah, I want to do kendo.
You want to do kendo?
Yeah,
What?
Why?
What?
What is that?
seems like a high energy.
No, you're better off doing jiu-jitsu.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Just watch out with the staph infections. That's about it.
Jiu-jitsu? Why? Jiu-jitsu? Why?
Because it's better martial arts.
You
Says
get,
who?
but you get no
From
sword.
experience?
It's in
Nah,
there now.
he's been watching too many Steven Seagal's movies.
No,
Neither do
Joe
jiu-jitsu.
Rogan.
Steven Seagal's, but now,
No,
not the
he's
young
the-
one.
the
Now
young one
he just
was,
goes like this.
Something else.
Inspired them, Pastor.
Yeah, just
You've been watching too many Mario Almada movies.
Mario Alma. Nobody knows that reference. Only I do.
You're laughing.
Because I know the
So
reference.
that's all I need.
But they don't know the reference.
He was hardcore 150 years old and
Yeah,
he was
and
still fighting karate.
He's still fighting.
Yeah.
You gotta love those Mexican movies.
Yeah, it's a Mexican. Well, he used to be a Mexican
He used to star,
star. Yeah.
Action star, yeah.
Yeah, and his movies like were all the same thing.
Yeah, he would just beat
Yeah.
people up and
Yeah, you kill my wife, I'm gonna kill you
Yeah,
now. Or you look, you know,
yeah, something like
you kill my wife, you stole my mule,
that.
Alright, let's
I'm
move
gonna
on.
kill you now.
I don't know what happened to this podcast. It just went off the rails.
Let's wrap, guys.
I'd rather watch Pure Flix.
I'd rather watch paint dry than this.
Which one?
Watch paint dry.
Oh, paint dry. All right, so we'll probably do one by the 22nd.
Oh, you'll be gone. All right, where are you going?
I'm going to Virginia,
Oh, Virginia.
my residency,
Oh.
What is
Regent
that?
University.
What do you do?
You're
in your
already, like,
residency?
A professional.
Don't you have like 5 masters already? Or doctorates?
Yeah, I bought it at MacArthur Park
Bought-
before they cleaned it
cleaned
up.
it
What are you aiming for at this point, Pastor?
Heaven? Hopefully. Heaven?
You may call me patriarch.
You already made it.
No, we call him, we call
Um,
him
Do
Do you
prophet now.
submit that to like the Foursquare or like
What? For what?
your master's
For
and
the title?
doctorate? Yeah.
For
Do you
promotion.
submit
So
to
we
that?
have to call you Dr. Yater now.
No,
Like
no,
you
they don't.
submit to a
Paralysis.
poll or can you
For what?
or I don't know for
Like-
this position or something?
I'd rather be called Master.
Master?
Yeah, because you have a master's. You know?
No, you can't, hold on, you can't say
his
that word.
his divinity.
No, you can't say masters anymore.
Oh,
that's,
yeah.
you get canceled
No,
for
you
that
can't say he or she anymore.
word. You can't
They
say
already
master either.
changed
That's
it.
why it's not called the master
I
bedroom
learned that
anymore.
this week in class.
What
Oh,
is
you
it
did?
I
called?
was like, well, screw
The
you.
big bedroom
Sorry.
is called, not the master
Are you
bedroom.
kidding me?
Yes,
What?
because it's racist.
Oh,
It implies but slavery.
I don't
so
live in a house big enough to have a master bedroom.
So it's
That's
not
like,
master.
Oh my god.
they're all the same.
It's the biggest bedroom. It's called or the biggest
Of the
bedroom.
house?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. My house is one of those,
Don't say masters though.
and I call it the master
No,
bedroom.
you can't say masters.
Wow, you said it.
You're gonna get canceled.
Mm. Oh well.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't like the intolerance in this room.
Well, guys, that's it for now, and thank you for joining us. I hope you guys are blessed,
Amen.
and I hope God blesses you. So, in the meantime, spread the word that we're here, and I just want you to remember that worship has so many expressions,
Amen.
and find the one that God's calling you to do.
It's
Maybe you don't know how to sing, but maybe there's something else you can do. You can serve.
A mic.
Worship is a lifestyle at the end of the day.
It really is. It really is. It's just being able to serve God, and
you have jokes today, don't you?
Hey,
it's just barely getting started.
Pastor told me to go wild. So
Yeah.
I'm going wild.
I
At
started-
the beginning, not
I
the
don't- I
end.
don't remember where I heard that, but I remember you. Well, today you were preaching, right? And you were saying, I don't know. Shall we go off air, or should we just keep?
Off air.
It's
Off air.
going.
Oh,
It's,
oh, are we off air now, or
we're like an hour and 21 minutes,
Oh,
anyways.
go ahead then.
That's the
But-
shortest
well, you-
one ever.
No, hold on.
Yeah, it
we're
is.
We're still on air. What happened?
We're talking about denying ourselves.
Yeah, deny yourself.
Um,
Oh, that's so
That's,
interesting.
that's big.
and then you mentioned like Galatians, and
Yeah, hey, Galatians is so interesting.
let's go off air.
No, go.
Yeah.
I'm being real. It's
I
true.
think Pastor's over it.
He's throwing shade
Okay,
over
go,
here,
go,
right?
go.
He's already on the plane.
Just
already.
go.
Me está mirando.
Hey, estoy ofendido.
Ya me voy. I'm
no,
leaving.
We were talking on the whole. This is connected to worship. We were talking about denying yourself and how we need to live that out.
Yep.
To not just cater to our flesh, to cater
Yeah.
God's truth. And it reminded me. I don't remember where I heard it, so I'm gonna plagiarize. I might have read it, or you might have said it. I don't know if you have. But because if your worship, meaning your lifestyle, if
Yeah.
it doesn't cost you much, if it doesn't cost you something every day, then it's probably not worth it much.
Mm.
And I thought that was like, boom.
I don't remember saying it, but
Recibe.
maybe.
Take credit.
It just reminded me of it today when you said
Maybe
that.
Bonhoeffer said it. I don't know.
Maybe.
And that sounds like.
But that's pretty. I think that's pretty confronting. The whole like, what does it cost you to say I follow Jesus every single day?
Yeah.
And it's like, ooh, I can't wait till Monday.
Well, the thing is that
It's gonna
I
cost
think.
me
Well,
this.
let's go to sermon because I think it's so essential. And I was talking to my class, theology class, and we were talking about Halloween and all these things, and it
Hello, Zeke.
Hallows Eve, all Hallows Eve.
Hallows Eve.
And what's interesting is that it went that way. It went to why, whether we do it or not. And what I detected was not necessarily a biblical answer per se, but most of it was I can do it if I'm not harming anybody. I can do it if it's not, hurting anybody.
Do what?
Dress up, not dress up,
trick-or-treat.
or trick-or-treating, or
Beg for
celebrate,
candy?
not
I
celebrate.
used to
Yeah.
beg for candy.
So I confronted, and I think that's what we're kind of like we're trying to do here, because I think I didn't emphasize it enough in the sermon, but I think I need to emphasize it very much. And it's a very lost theology, the whole denying yourself aspect of it. In church now, it's barely alive. It's almost like it doesn't exist anymore. There's so many people indulging in so many things in the name of Christ or because of their liberties that it has lost for a lot of people, not Christians, the value of denying yourself, of saying, no, I'm not going to engage in this and I'm not going to do this. And I think, the passage we're reading, Matthew, the whole thing is related to discipleship. And that's what it is. Discipleship. We can go to a 50-step programs. We can go to the best discipleship class in the world. But it all comes down to when your flesh knocks and says, hey, it's natural for you to react this way. Are you willing to deny that itch
or go along with it.
or go along with it. And that's where it's at. And I think on Friday, I shared this with the church. It's
That is
so
worship.
clear to me that, rebuking the devil starts with you,
Yeah.
with saying no to yourself, not just saying, devil, in there, Jesus, I rebuke you, get out. But it's you telling yourself, I'm not going to participate on what I'm being offered.
Like, I won't bow no matter what.
Yeah.
Even if it feels natural to me in my flesh, I'm not going to do it, because there's always an alternative with the Spirit. So this denying yourself, it's so powerful, but it's so lost. And I'm not by any stretch saying that, hey, I got down, but being aware of it, it's important as a church. And you have the church history where people went to great length to separate themselves from the world, to be distinct from it, to actually be lights, to live differently. And you see that in the book of Acts. And then the monastic era, where you have all these people separating from society just to go live outside of sin and just being dedicated to that. I'm not saying that the effects of that now are good, but there was a clear understanding of that. That doesn't exist anymore.
You know.
I mean, most of the time as a Christian, when was the last time you denied yourself something? Like really something. I'm not saying something that it's bad for you necessarily, but
Something you really wanted.
just something that you really wanted. And you said, wait a minute, let me think about it really closely, and the impact that it's going to have in my spiritual life, in my relationship with God. And it's brushed off as, oh, it's not going to have any impact. It's not going to harm me if I do this or that. I still feel, here's the one, I still feel God's presence. So as long as I'm feeling God's presence, I'm okay. And I think that's where the problem is, because at the end of the day, Jesus didn't say, that it's about just feeling his presence. It's about being a disciple, being obedient, being able to deny yourself. So how many things are you willing to deny your flesh? And we've been talking about the ego, and how many times you give into that, So you kind of defeat what Christianity is about when you don't.
Yeah.
Because we can say anything, worship, raise our hands, and sing, and all these things, and say to God that we love him. But when he comes and he asks of you, and again, it's related to denying Jesus at the same time.
Yeah.
Well, it's being the death to ourselves, right?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
That's what's next. You can't kill yourself if you don't
so,
deny yourself, and you can't deny yourself if you don't forget yourself, right?
Yeah.
So you have those three sequences. And we need to go back to that culture, because it'll prevent you from being inflated of your own self. So when you deny yourself, you're going to deny yourself. Like Stephanie, if she comes and she offends me for whatever reason, I need to deny myself the urge or even the right to be angry at her and hold a grudge or separate her from me, because I'm killing her, right? I'm guilty of murdering somebody if I act like if they don't exist, or if I just see them as someone who have harm. And that's what Christianity really makes you or break you.
And also it's the culture is totally opposite, right? Like you've been preaching like psychology is totally different.
Yeah, it's like they affirm you, and if that's what you want, just let it go. And it just goes back to the whole Greek culture, Roman culture of satisfying your need in the fastest, most direct way that you can.
And I think it just leads to what we are experiencing today as a country, right? Like, it's my opinion matters, and that's it. No matter what opinion you have,
Even if it's wrong.
even if it's wrong opinion, it's my opinion.
Even if I'm wrong and you're right.
And it supersedes yours, right? And like supersedes somebody else's.
Yeah.
Because mine is the one that matters.
But how many? See, then we get into this trouble, because how many opinions are gonna supersede others? So who's at the end right? And they cannot be all right, because at the end it's chaos.
Yeah. And that's what leads to this infighting, that nobody's right at the end of the day.
At the end of the day,
And nobody sees that.
I mean, she was telling me some crazy stuff before the podcast. You were telling me some crazy stuff about the law and how it's not important what the law says, but how you feel about it.
Oh, for sure. You have, yeah. There's a lot of that thought and that culture. You see the tentacles of that, like you said, like it's creeped into our church. It's gone into churches. I mean, and it's gone into culture. It's gone into law. It's gone into media. It's gone into everywhere, and you just see how the thought of that of you being everything there is, like you being that God, leads to these way of thinking or these thoughts of like no, everybody else's opinion doesn't matter as long as it's right for me. You are wrong no matter what.
Yeah.
And that's what leads to a lot of this infighting, to a lot of this just like bitterness in the country, and this hatred.
Yeah, I think if you don't know where it comes from, like you fall into it.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid that I'm not making a general accusation about the church, but there are a lot of people that they don't know where the idea comes from, and it's not scriptural, and then you just flow with it.
Yeah.
Because I think that's like what needs to be done. But going back to the whole thing is like, take it serious.
Yeah.
If Jesus said, deny yourself, you want to be my disciple, you can't do it. You cannot. It doesn't. They go against each other. Being a disciple and being in charge, or being egocentristic or narcissistic, it goes against everything that we are supposed to be as disciples.
Yeah.
Now, how many Christians do we know that are fulfilling their dreams and what they want, as opposed to being obedient to what God wants or what He wants us to do? How many of us ask the simplest things before we do them?
Yeah. I think it takes a lot of prayer and preparation, even in anticipation, to walk out that every day to day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like recently, like I asked those questions, like, hey, like, how come it is that there's tendencies, we trip over the same thing, we always blurt these things out, like, you know what I mean? And like, the more I read and the more I come to, we're like, wait a minute, like, I take these things to the Lord even in anticipation, like, Lord, when this happens, because I know this tends to be like, like my walk every day when I'm not at church, I'm gonna surrender my right to defend myself, but because I'm gonna show your mercy, your grace, in your glory. So that, and I think like it's very specific. It's getting down in the nitty gritty and actually in detail. Like, hey, like, Lord, like, specifically, this is why. There's conviction now why I do this.
Yeah, and I think that's important, Gil, because I think most Christians is like, the Spirit will tell me.
No, and it's like, Lord, I give you my day, and then all of a sudden by 8 o'clock, you're like, dude, did I just say that to them?
Yeah. It goes beyond that, and I think that's where, to me, it's important for people to think. And to think what the Scripture says and what am I going to do with this, because I'm responsible now. To develop faith or unbelief. What am I going to do with it? You need to take that responsibility, that exercise of not only surrendering, but saying, what am I going to do? If I'm empowered by the Spirit of God, then I am able to do what my flesh doesn't want to do, but I just need to give it, the push in the right
and you're going to get hit from a different direction.
Oh, you are. That's for sure. That's for sure. The moment you say it is a moment that I like what the angel Gabriel said to Daniel. He says, from the moment you decided to understand this in your heart, I've experienced opposition with the answer that you seek. And it's always like that. I don't know why you think that if you dedicate yourself to God and you're saying, you know what, today my day's going to be different. I'm going to make decisions differently today based on denying myself and being more available to Christ for Him to do something. What did you expect? Of course you're going to be constantly bombarded until you desist, so that next day, tomorrow, you don't even conceive
from where they're coming,
making that decision next day. I'll make sure you don't make this decision tomorrow. I'm sure that you forget Christ and that you only think about yourself. Right? Who told you that wasn't going to be a reality? And it is a reality. But you have to take the steps and say, what am I going to do?
Yeah, I'm going to distract you until Wednesday when you have to drive to church.
Exactly. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So my question to you guys is like, how real, how important better said, is denying yourself.
Mhm.
And it starts with that, being a volunteer for that, being someone that wants to, because Jesus says that if you want to be my disciple, this is what needs to be done. So it starts with that.
And I think it's probably the hardest thing you'll ever do in your life, as well as the most fulfilling thing. You know, like they go hand in hand.
Yeah, but it's not easy to do.
No.
Yeah.
I think that's like a foundation, right? Like to start with that.
Yeah.
Denying yourself and then work from.
Because you're getting out of God's.
Your whole life.
Yeah.
You're getting out of God's way.
Yeah.
As long as you're there,
Yeah.
then you're getting in His way.
Yeah.
Because they can't be two masters.
Mm-hmm.
Masters.
Wow, watch out with that word.
They can't be two lords.
Yeah.
There needs to be one.
Yeah.
And then Jesus, the nature of God's majesty, greatness, His nature requires to be in the first place.
And one more thing I want to add to it, like
You know what, Gil? You can add to it right now. Go for it.
Then I hear like, and then a lot of these things, I'm not calling anyone out or pointing and saying like, oh, then you know, because a lot of these are convictions that have come into my own life, and that's why I'm just like, that's where they derive from, you know. And I ask a lot of questions all the time, all day, and then I ask like, well, we ask for like, Lord, like, why can't we hear you, see you? Why aren't we seeing these things? And then just talking on denying ourselves, you know. And it reminds me of the scripture, you know, when it says like, hey, you're no longer, like, you know what I mean? You will be my friends. And a servant doesn't know the plans of his master, you know, but you will, because you are, you know what, you are my friends. Like, how could I know what, like, Lord, what's going on? And then I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm going to go and do whatever I want. Like, then go and do what you want. But how am I to reveal to you if you're not,
don't expect it,
you know, you don't, how could I possibly expect for it to be revealed to me when I'm involved in, you know, or I'm living my own life, right? Living it out and catering to myself opposed to denying myself. Like then how can I expect to be called His friend? You know what I mean? And to be, you know, like in the will of Him and the Heavenly Father. Yeah. I don't know if I hope that's what it makes sense to me, you know?
Yeah, I think it's important. And I think when you go to Philippians 2 and you see Jesus and His example is like he emptied Himself in order to be able to die. So you can't do that. You can't, if you don't empty yourself, you're never going to be able to reach the end of what we're talking about, which is crucifixion to the self.
Galatians 2:20, basically.
Yeah, you can't. And Jesus knew, and He did it, you know, being equal to God. It wasn't something that He took advantage of, but He emptied Himself and He became like a servant in the form of a man. And then He humbled Himself and He died on the cross. That's always the process. There's always something in us that makes us feel like God and we are in control, and you know, and you said something that's important. I think we don't do anything that does not benefit us. That's the truth. Nothing at all that doesn't benefit us one way or another. One way or another, you're getting some kind of benefit, either an inner satisfaction because of what you said to somebody, or being in control of the situation, or just making yourself feel like, you know, you're in charge. We never do anything if it doesn't benefit us. You know, what denying yourself does is that you start doing things that advance the kingdom of God and then benefit other people. You know, you're not in God's way.
Amen.
So you start learning how to do that, and you have to do it. You have to, if you're a disciple, if you're a true, serious disciple of Christ, that's where it starts. And I think a lot of your problems also, I think, are solved in that way too.
Yeah.
And you don't realize it, but you're free.
Probably all of them.
Yeah.
Well, they're all resolved because you have everything.
Yeah, you become selfless and at some point, like Paul, you know, a little careless in a good way. In a good way.
That's a good boldness, right?
Yeah, in a good way. Not in a careless way, but in a good way.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. That's what it is.
That's beautiful.
Amen.
That's
Good
awesome.
work,
So go and deny yourselves, okay?
Yes. No more
Yes,
cheesecake.
practice it.
No more cheesecake for me.
No more cheesecake. Yeah, excess, anything that the flesh is just screaming out at you.
No more Coke.
You have to stay. Yeah, no more Coke. Look at this. Look at what Gil did.
I should have had a 2 liter. They're minimizing it. I'm just kidding. That's a 2 liter.
It looks like
Yeah.
1 liter.
Yeah.
Nah, it's not. It's a 1 liter exactly. Plus, you had it at church.
Yeah.
It was research.
It was research. I wanna
Doesn't
s-
that actually fall within the whole like denying yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Doesn't the Bible say una vez al año no se dañe? Just playing. That does not say that.
It never says that.
It doesn't say that.
I think
blasphemous?
that was someone's interpretation.
I know.
Yeah, yeah. Convenient.
But yeah, deny yourselves.
Yeah. And be disciples.
Yes.
Let's be disciples. All of us, not just one person, but all of us. So yeah, that's it. That's it, guys. Now we're seriously going off.
Are we?
Yeah, we are. So God bless you guys. I hope to see you guys next time. Thank you guys for the talk. I know we're exhausted, but
Are we?
it needs to be done.
Speak for yourself.
That's the end.
Yeah, I am speaking for myself.
Yeah.
Actually, I am speaking for myself.
Yeah.
So God bless you guys, and remember, stay bright,